All right, well, good evening, everybody. This is Coach Gregory with Legacy Unleashed. Looks like I got about 7 o'clock right on the dot. And as you guys know, Coach is all about being on time. If this is the first time to our weekly webinar series, I want to tell you welcome to our investment family. And for those of you that were on the webinar last week, I just want to say thank you for the overwhelming response. I had a lot of consultations with several of you and several kind words from so many of you. You know exactly who you are. I greatly appreciate that, and you guys can keep that stuff coming. It's what keeps me going. And as a lot of you know, last week was my first webinar series. Of course, I've been teaching financial education classes at live events for a little over 13 years. And we had about 50 attendees on the webinar, and I was more nervous doing a webinar on the internet than teaching to 1,000 people live. And I think a part of that is it's just because I can't see your faces and I can't get your reactions. So again, those of you that had kind words and the consultations that we had, it was just a really, really exciting to hear your guys' input and feedback. I do have a couple of announcements that I want to make. I want to make a shout out to a couple of our newest consulting students. Those are students that have actually made the decision to enroll in our 90-day consulting program. Which we'll talk about more at the end of the webinar, and we just guarantee to take those students by the hand, do assessments of where they're at, and walk them through their next deal. I've got Anna from Texas, I've got Hank in Washington, D.C., I've got Juan from Denver, and I've got Melanie from Denver. Guys, welcome to the family, and it's going to be a great journey. One of the topics of last week's webinar was Millionaire Secrets, Seed Secrets, Capital to Invest With. Since last week's webinar, myself and my fiance Alicia worked with multiple students reviewing their credit, doing consultations with them about their credit. And since last week's webinar, we were able to raise approximately $1 million in investment capital for you, the students, at 0% interest. So what an exciting week it was, an exciting week for you guys. And I'll give you directions at the end of this webinar. Again, should you choose, we would be more than happy to help you guys qualify for up to $100,000 at 0% interest. I want to let you guys know that at the end of this webinar, I will take questions. I'm actually logged on as Tony Freeman, which is my mother. Thank God for Mom. Again, being new at a webinar series, there's a lot going on, a lot of mechanical stuff going on, technology, which I'm not really good at. So I always want to have a coach right by my side with everything that I do. So if you put questions in the chat bar, you'd want to send those questions to Tony Freeman. The way that'll work, she'll write those questions down. When I get to the end of the webinar, she'll read the question to me, I'll repeat it to you guys, and I'll do the very, very best of my ability to answer those questions. These weekly webinar series are designed, guys, to keep you engaged, to keep you guys motivated, to keep you guys fired up, and to give you good, solid content so that you guys have the ability to actually go out there with your investment careers and make something happen. You know, I will tell you, Hank from Washington, D.C., recently just enrolled in our consulting program. He's done deals. He's done 11 duplexes. He's done some mobile homes, and you know, for Hank, it's his consulting program is going to be all about going to the next level. I realize some of you on the line haven't done your first deal yet. Our number one goal is to walk you through that first deal. Now, I do want to make sure that everybody on the webinar has the 5 tools that we promised you for free. The Bird Dog script, the Wholesaler Rehabber script, the For Sale by Owner script, the Motivated Seller script, and the Mobile Home Buyers Interview, which is tonight's focus. By overwhelming demand, you guys selected that we work on the mobile home strategy first, that we build that mobile home buyers database, and that's exactly what we're going to focus on tonight. I was excited to see so much excitement about the mobile home strategy because it is the simplest, safest, easiest way to get out there in this business and get started and start making some money. I even have students that tell me, well, you know, mobile homes isn't maybe exactly what I want to focus on, and I do have a considerable amount of cash to invest with. And if they have no experience, it's also a great way, it's a great way to build some confidence. Now, if for some reason you didn't get these 5 tools, I'm going to now show you exactly how you can get these 5 tools. There was a little bit of confusion on some of the emails that we sent out last week. And of course, this is a learning process for me and my team, and we're going to iron out the kinks. If you did not get those 5 tools, you would want to go to gregorydowning.com. You would go to the blog page. Well, there's a couple of different things you do. If you didn't get the 5 tools, actually, let me just go ahead and walk you guys through the process. And I can right now go pull up the window. Okay, doesn't look like, there we are. So if I pull up the gregorydowning.com site, if you did not get your 5 tools, you would go right here, click to download, and you can click and download those 5 tools. So they're right there for you. They're right there for you. Now, if you did not attend last week's webinar, or you want a recording of last week's webinar, or the ability to listen to the recording, you would go right here to the blog tab. You would click on blog. And when you get to the blog tab, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of valuable information and information about deals and motivation, and we blog consistently from the blog. One of the things that we would ask you to do, if you like one of the blogs, we would like you to make a comment, or we would like you to share that blog. And if we scroll, my phone seemed to walk up there for just a second. So right here where you see interactive support webinar series, if you just click on that link right there, that will take you to YouTube, and you will be able to listen to that webinar. Now, if you guys are not friends with me at Facebook yet, you can also scroll down on the blog page. Let's see here, and you see where it says Connect with Greg. If you click on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, I do have a YouTube channel with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos there, and just great educational information. I know it's very easy to get distracted in your investment careers. I know that you guys have very busy lives. A lot of you got very busy kids like myself, and it's very important that you stay focused, that you've got a plan in place. And one of the things I learned 16 years ago in my first financial education class is that my mind was a wealth building machine. And 16 years ago, I made the decision that I was going to feed my mind wealth intelligently from the right side every single day of my life, 1 to 2 hours a day, with the exception of Sundays. And I've been doing that for the last 16 years. And guys, every day when I wake up and put my feet on the ground, I say, wow, what a very blessed day it is to be alive. And I say, look at what you have created. It's been a wonderful journey. Financial education is priceless. Financial education is not a 3-hour thing. Financial education is not a 3-day thing. Financial education is a lifetime thing. And when you make it a lifetime thing, guys, things will change for you. I don't know when it'll be. I don't know if it's going to be a week. I don't know if it's going to be 30 days. I don't know if it's going to be 90 days. It's different for everybody. And when you really commit to the financial education process, to feeding your mind wealth intelligently from the right side 1 to 2 hours a day, that's when everything can change for you. Now, when you connect with me at Facebook, and if you already have connected with me at Facebook, you want to follow me, because if you follow me, every time I make a blog post, every time I put up a video, every time I put up the recordings, you will be notified that I've done that. And we are posting stuff consistently at Facebook, good positive feedback, good information for you guys. You can also go to Legacy Unleashed at Facebook and like my Legacy Unleashed page, and again, just tons and tons of valuable information there to support you guys in your investment careers. So let's go ahead and jump right back into the webinar. And everybody should now know how to get your 5 tools if you don't have them, and I want to connect with many of you as I can at Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I was talking to one of my students, And before we get, and tonight's specifically going to be about mobile homes. And the beautiful thing about what we teach is every strategy that we teach, everything that we do dovetails into everything else that we can do. And I had a student ask me one time, they said, Coach Gregory, if you had a definition for yourself as an investor, if there was a book that had definitions of investors and your name was in there, what would it say about you? What would your definition be as an investor? And I very simply shared with them, as investors, guys, we're problem solvers, we're solution providers, we are to be of service. And I said, I'm a transactional engineer. Guys, I've mastered 14 ways to invest in real estate and variations of those 14 ways. Every single deal that we look at, there is always a way that we can do that deal if it's a good deal. And when you've mastered multiple areas of real estate, you find yourself dovetailing multiple strategies into one strategy. So even though tonight might be about mobile homes, there are things that you will learn tonight that can be applied to a lot of different strategies. There will be a lot of crossover. And one of my students, Patricia, asked me, she said, do you have something that can kind of give me the flow of the deal? And of course, we've created a flow chart for you guys. And listen, what you guys asked for is what I want to deliver on these webinar series. At the end of the webinar, again, I'll have my email address up there, contact information for you guys, because what you guys want is what I want to deliver. So Patricia, this is for you and everybody else on the call. I just kind of want to give the flow of a deal. So first, we've got to find that property. We've got to locate and identify potential investment properties. Now, in a moment, I'm going to have a slide that's going to give you my 5 best resources for finding potential investment properties. And if I've got realtors on the line, I want my realtors to know that I love you. And the game of buying and selling homes has changed. It's changing rapidly, guys, and investors are taking over. Not that we want to cut the realtor out of the process. As investors, we've just created tools, and the realtor does not become as important as my business as they used to be. Although I have a wonderful realtor on my power team, I love my realtors. 75% of the business that I do as an investor, the properties are not listed with realtors. So we'll discuss that in a moment on previous slides. 25% of the business I do will be listed with the realtor. I'll give you an example of that. If it's a bank-owned property, if the property goes to auction, if the property's in foreclosure, people can't make their payments, they don't do what it takes to redeem the property then goes to auction. If nobody buys the property at auction, the bank is the highest bidder, then that property becomes an REO property, real estate owned by the bank. The bank will then list that property with the realtor. It will go out on the market. So if a property is listed with the realtor and I want to buy that property, I'm going to get my realtor involved in the deal because a real estate commission will be paid. And if a real estate commission is going to be paid, then it's very, very important to me that my realtor gets half that commission. Now, the other thing that I would ask you guys to do on the line, if a realtor is involved in the deal, never, ever ask your realtor to cut their commission. Make that deal work for everybody. Make it a win-win because, the realtor has a family to feed as well. Remember, we're here to create win-win situations. So realtors on the phone, you're welcome for that. So prepare a property case file. When we make a phone call with somebody that's a for sale by owner or somebody that's in pre-foreclosure, we have a form that we fill out and we start that case file on that property. We want to gather as much information about the property so that we can evaluate the property. Now, in the process that I teach in my 3-day event, and one of our webinars will be specifically about beginning that case study on properties, how to call on somebody that has a property that's for sale by owner or that's in pre-foreclosure, and gather all the information about that property so that we can evaluate the property in our software, analyze the property for its potential ROI before we inspect the property. Guys, my time is way more valuable than money, and why would I waste my precious time driving around and looking at junk deals that don't work for me? I just don't do that. So we've created systems and processes that will dramatically reduce time frames. So we put the numbers together, we review and analyze the transaction. Now, If you've been to my 3-day event, guys, you know this. We are always going to make 2 offers on every property at the same time, called option A, called option B. We make those offers through what's called a letter of intent. When we deliver a letter of intent, plan A, plan B, giving somebody 2 options, we do that via email. Guys, a letter of intent is not an obligation to purchase. It is a serious first step in negotiations to see if somebody's where I want to be at on price. So if I deliver those letters of intent and somebody bites on one of those letters of intent, it is then time to go inspect that property and make sure we know exactly what we're dealing with. We inspect the property, we're going to negotiate the agreement, and here's the toughest part. Once you've negotiated that agreement, guys, you've got to get that property under contract. Now, in a moment, I'm going to talk a little bit about contracts, and I think I got a giant surprise for you guys next week if I can convince Mom to do it, and she will. And Mom's actually next week on the call. She's going to work with you guys. I'll be here as well, and we're going to go through elements of a contract, because getting that property under contract and doing that safely, making sure that you've always got an escape clause to get out of that deal if it doesn't go down the way that you want it to go down, is so vitally important. Now, once we've got that property under contract, we know it's a property that we want to close on. We're going to open escrow. We're going to do that through our title company. You will also remember in class, I've taught you guys that your real estate attorney should also be your title company. If your real estate attorney is your title company, a title company handles the final closing of the deal and disperses funds, files the paperwork with the county courthouse. If your real estate attorney is your title company and you're closing at your title company, then every deal that we do, our real estate attorney is looking at that, and that allows us to protect our assets. Now, once you open escrow, satisfy all contingencies. If you know, when we get that property under contract, we get them under contract subject to partner's approval with the 14-day inspection period. So if during the inspection period things come up that we didn't know about, that would maybe possibly allow us to get out of the deal or further negotiate the deal. If it is my intentions to assign that contract, I now have 14 days to assign it. And I should already have my investor database in place. Is the property going to be something that I'm going to hold for cash flow? Am I going to fix and flip and rent the property? Am I going to fix up and sell the property? Am I going to do a lease option? Am I going to sell it with seller financing? Guys, those are all the exit strategies. So I hope this flow chart kind of gave you guys an idea of the flow of the deal, the sequence, and how the process takes place. And give me just one second, guys. We'll move to the next slide. So when we're talking about contracts and we're talking about deals, you know, for me, real estate investing isn't risky. And I know for those of you that are new, it can be scary and it can seem risky. And there's a lot of people that tell me that I am a big risk taker. I'm going to tell you guys, I am not a big risk taker at all. I'm a calculated risk taker. And because 75% of the business that I do is not listed with a realtor, I'm in control of the paper. Whoever controls the paper controls the deal. Whoever controls the deal controls the money and the outcome. Investing in real estate isn't risky, guys. Not being in control is risky. If I'm in control of the paper and I'm in control of that contract, it gives me control of the deal. And man, what an exciting week we have planned for you. Next week, when Mom goes through the elements of a contract, teaches you to maintain control every step of the way, because that's what allows us to be safe in this business, when we have control of the process. You know, as I go through these webinar series and as I teach students and mentor students and consult with students, you know, the one thing I let them know is that every single deal that we look at, we don't do every deal. Every person we come in contact, we're not able to help everybody. And I don't have to help everybody, guys. I need to help one person a month, and you should be doing 3 mobile homes. So your goals are to financially educate yourself, surround yourselves with the proper power team of people where you're doing one deal a month. That could be a lease option, could be seller financing, could be an REO, could be a foreclosure, could be a short sale. I don't care what type of deal it is. Could be an apartment building, could be a mobile home park. You want to be doing one a month and 3 mobile homes. The mobile home strategy that I teach that we're going to focus on is going to be one of the easiest strategies and one of the safest strategies to get out there and start making money. The good news is that we can also do that strategy without using a lot of your own money or without using your credit. Now, when we're not using our money and we're not using our credit, they become a little bit more complex to do, and that's fine. We can learn how to do that. I will tell you, those of you out there that have money and have credit, all of these strategies just become much, much easier to do. 5 resources for deals. Guys, this business, these are the 5 resources in this business that I want to focus on. This allows me, 75% of my business comes from this resources, and this allows me to find deals in most cases that are not listed with realtors yet. So if I'm looking for sale by owner, and when I say for sale by owner, I'm not talking about the company that advertises for sale by owner. That actually is a real estate company. They just do it for half the commission. When I say for sale by owner, I'm talking about individuals that are actually selling homes or properties or mobile homes themselves that are not listed with a realtor. Now, guys and gals, I don't care what real estate cycle we're in. I don't care if real estate's going up in value. I don't care if it's going down in value. I don't care if it's going sideways in value. We have the ability to make money in every single real estate market. You just got to know what cycle you're in today. And you got to know what that will create for you in the future. And when the cycle shifts, you guys got to be ready to shift. And I think you guys would all agree. I live here in the state of Florida. In the years 2008, 2009, 2010, there's a whole bunch of people in real estate that got burned because they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't follow the guidelines. They didn't follow the rules that I give you guys, the universal laws that I've created. And one of the things that will always make you safe and prepare you for the next market correction, and everybody should write this down, is cash flow first. If I'm analyzing a property and it's a buy and hold, I'm going to analyze cash flow first. I'm buying that property for its cash flow. Now, the reason why I share that with you is I know exactly what cycle we're in today, guys. Our country's dealing with the foreclosure crisis. We're dealing with the foreclosure epidemic. And the number of people that are in foreclosure today that have lost their homes, that will continue to lose their homes over the next 3 to 5 years, is going to create the next cycle. And I'm sure of the 50 people on the call tonight, you guys would like to know what the next cycle is. You want to prepare yourselves, guys, so that over the next 2 to 3 years, you can focus on apartment buildings, mobile home parks, RV parks, and assisted living care facilities. Well, why is that the cycle of the future? Because of the cycle we're in today. People that we find in pre-foreclosure who actually have equity in their properties is one of the greatest resources out there for us today. I actually, and I know most of you on the call do, have software that directly connects me with virtually every county courthouse in the United States of America and gives me the pre-foreclosure listing the day it's filed at the county courthouse. So that's just a great opportunity. We can get those properties under contract. We can assign them, flip them, lease option them, whatever the exit strategy might be. Number 3, database. Guys, you've got to build your databases of buyers, sellers, tenants, investors, rehabbers. You want to build that cash buyers database. Again, a lot of you on the call have the software that I have available. It has a cash buyers tab in it. We can print the cash buyers for Crystal River, Florida, for Tampa, Florida, for Denver, Colorado. And when you print that cash buyers list, if that name of somebody that bought a property cash, it's public information, has an LLC behind it, has an S Corp, if it's a corporation, we know most of the time, guys, that's another investor. They're paying cash for properties. Man, that's the people you want to fill your database full of, cash buyers. So you want a cash buyers list. I will tell you today, the majority of my business, my mom's business, Greg Jr.'s business, it comes to us from word of mouth. When you always try to create the win-win, you always do business the right way, that word's going to get out there, guys. We're problem solvers. We're solution providers. We are to be of service. Now, the strategy that we're going to talk about tonight is mobile homes. And one of the best ways to find mobile homes is just to drive the mobile home parks. If you'll drive mobile home parks, guys, you'll find those mobile homes for sale by owner. And I'm talking about mobile homes that would be $20,000 or less. Lesser expensive mobile homes, $10,000 mobile homes, $5,000 mobile homes. Somebody that's trying to sell a $5,000 mobile home in a mobile home park, they normally don't know how to sell it. Because by the time a realtor lists a $5,000 mobile home and another realtor sells it and they split their commissions and pay their brokerage fees, it's just not worth it for them. So in a lot of cases, most cases, you just need to drive those mobile home parks. I will also tell you, you've got to talk to the park owners. You've got to make relationships with the park owners. And we've done that. We've done that here in the state of Florida and throughout the country, and we can also help you guys with that. Now, finding the mobile homes for sale by owner is vital, and I will never contract to buy a property unless I already have it sold, assigned, or a tenant to put in it. Guys, this is one of the most important universal laws of becoming an investor and entrepreneur that I can give you. And when you adhere to this law, you know the end result of every deal that you've ever done or that I've ever done before I do the deal. And again, I know I talked to you guys about this last week. There are a lot of investors out there. There's a lot of experts out there that tell you if you find the great deal, the money will follow. And I agree completely. And if we were going to sell mobile homes, we were going to find mobile homes and rent them, sell them with lease options, sell them with seller financing, fix them up and flip them to other investors, guys, wouldn't it first be wise to build that database of buyers? Let's build a database of motivated mobile home buyers. Let's build a database of investors that might want to buy mobile homes. Let's build a database of people that would want to rent mobile homes. And we've come up with some tools and some creative ideas that will help you build that buyer's database. If you do the strategies the right way, guys, let's suggest that you've got your buyer's database in place for mobile homes, a database of motivated tenants that want to buy mobile homes, maybe not rent them, but they'd like to buy one, they'd like to own one, do a lease option, we could do a seller financing contract with them. If you've got a database of buyers, guys, you can find a mobile home for sale by owner, get it under contract today, and have it sold by lunch. That's what a master investor does. That's what we do. Every time I teach my classes and I get somebody that comes up to me and says, well, what happens if you get stuck with the property? What do you do? Well, the number one reason somebody got stuck is because they're not dealing with the proper power team of people and they don't have the proper financial education. Guys, there's just no need to get stuck. No need to get stuck. So tonight we will specifically focus on building our mobile home buyers database. Again, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I just want to give you the absolute safest way for you to do this business. I had a student who followed the guidelines I'm going to give you from Dallas, Texas, and they used the marketing program that I'm about to go over with you to create your motivated mobile home buyers database. And within 7 days, they found 7 mobile home buyers. Now, once they found those 7 mobile home buyers, what did they need to do next? They needed to go find 7 mobile homes. So you can be working on both at the same time. I just want you guys to know it's incredibly important that you start building these databases. Guys, database, database, database. So let's talk about some ways that we can build our database. And this kind of reminds me of a really funny story. If I go back 4 years ago to the beginning of Greg Jr.'s investment career, one of Greg Jr.'s very first investment deals was a waterfront condo in Tampa, Florida that we purchased at auction. Now, We bought this waterfront condo in Tampa, Florida. We bought it at auction. Opening bid on this property was $17,000. We bid $17,001. Nobody else was there. Winners. It's easy to win the game, guys, when you know how to eliminate the competition. Now, the reason why nobody was at auction is because at that period of time, investors were scared to death of waterfront condos. That is one of the markets that went up the most in Tampa, Florida. Well, when the market corrected, it's one of those markets that went down the most. Most of those condos were investor-owned condos who didn't have the proper financial education, didn't have the support, didn't understand the law of cash flow first. In other words, they bought these properties at the height of the market with the speculation that the market would continue to climb. And when this market corrected, man, I'm telling you, it overcorrected. We got this condo for $17,000. There was a bank loan on it for $170,000. Bank of America took a $150,000 hit. In every strategy that we do, guys, I can teach you how to eliminate the competition. Now, when we got this condo for so very cheap, my son Greg Jr. looked at me and said, "Dad, we've been selling these mobile homes at 0% interest for years. Couldn't we sell these condos with the same concept because we're getting them for so very, very cheap?" And man, I mean, when my son told me that, I was just absolutely blown away that he was able to come up with that type of a concept at 16 years old. And guys and gals, let me tell you, you start advertising waterfront condos in Tampa, Florida at 0% interest, you're going to have to get a 5-line phone system. And you start advertising mobile homes at 0% interest, you guys might need to get a 5-line phone system. No, I'm just kidding. The phone system you got will work. Let's talk about an ad. And when you run this ad and you run it in the right places, which we'll discuss, your phone will ring off of the hook with motivated mobile home buyers. So the newspaper ad or internet ad, and I think we all would agree that the newspaper is kind of becoming a dinosaur and the internet is taking over, and we need to make sure that we're up with the times. And let's go over this ad together. Those of you that got the mobile home link to the mobile home video, this ad's in there. The mobile home strategy is there, very, very detailed. I am here to help and support you with questions. And the ad reads, "Mobile home buyers wanted. Financing available, 0% interest, low down payment, good credit and poor credit okay. And of course, you got to put me chuckling, and I just got to tell you guys a really, really quick story. You know, we all need a coach. We all need a mentor to guide us. And when I'm doing my consultings with students and we're evaluating where they're at and where they want to go, and a lot of times students are struggling. I get that and understand. I mean, there's hurdles out there. There's roadblocks. There's people that are going to try and pull you off track. Usually it's just one little tiny thing or two tiny things or three tiny things that you're doing wrong that's holding you back. It's never really any great big giant thing. You've got most of the pieces, guys. You just need somebody to help you put them together. I'll give you an example. I have a system. It's our automated system. It's a marketing system. It's the best marketing tool on the planet for real estate investors. I'll give you a glimpse of it in just a moment. And when I advertise my properties through the REI automated system, a lot of you have access to this tool. If you don't, we can help you with that. Our properties will get on average of 2,500 views a week when advertised properly. So because I have this wonderful marketing tool and system, and I thought that when I ran ads in my software, because all of my business information was already in the software in my profile, and I ran an ad that would automatically pull my phone number over. So when I first started using the marketing tool and advertising properties, I wasn't getting any phone calls at all. And I had to get my mentor on the phone and say, "Man, what's going on? This software doesn't work. I'm not getting any calls." And they said, "Well, Gregory, let's take a look at your ad." Well, I didn't have the phone number in there. So that was a lesson right there that we always need guidance, we always need help. Now, as you look at this ad, guys, what is the giant hook in this ad? What do you think the biggest hook here is? Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's the entire ad and it's 0% interest, especially in the retirement stage. I want you to know the mobile home strategy that I teach, individual mobile homes and mobile home parks. They're the little boxes that just spit out money, and they work in every state in the United States of America. And there are specific states where this strategy works better. I know Chris Pickrell right now is on the line, and he's from Houston, Texas, and he's been working with one of our mentors, Rhonda, and they've really perfected some strategies. And he's here in Florida buying mobile homes here because the market's better for mobile homes here. We've already created a network that you guys can tap into. And Texas is also a great state. Your retirement states are great for mobile homes. And in any state, you advertise 0% interest on a mobile home, especially these older mobile homes, guys, you're going to have people lining up for that. You can't finance these older mobile homes anywhere. And when we advertise at 0% interest, it's just a great hook. Car dealers have been advertising vehicles at 0% interest for years. It's just a marketing technique. When you buy that vehicle from the dealer, you either get the $5,000 rebate or you get 0% interest. Same thing with the mobile home strategy. Now, the other thing I like about the ad, which we'll discuss in a moment when we go through the script, it says low down payment. Now, it is very, very important in this ad that you put good credit and poor credit okay. If you only put poor credit okay, nobody with good credit's going to call you. Because if I've got great credit and I see an ad that says poor credit okay, I'm certainly not calling on that ad. Now, you want to put good credit and poor credit okay, because if it's a 0% interest ad and it doesn't say poor credit okay, somebody with poor credit won't call you. Again, I remember early in my investment career when I just got started and I ran my ads and started my marketing program, didn't have all the tools that we have available today. My ad just simply said poor credit okay. I never got anybody with good credit to call me. Again, I got my mentor on the phone and said, hey, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? And he looked at my ad and said, well, Greg, you're just asking for people with poor credit. So when you advertise, you're going to get what you ask for. Now, you run this ad, guys, and your phone's going to ring off of the hook. And I want you guys to look at the very first line of this ad. It says mobile home buyers wanted. I'm not even implying that I own a mobile home. This ad is asking for buyers. This ad is what I call a dummy ad. This ad is to build your databases of buyers. Now, when people call on this ad, you've got to have a professional way to interview those people, to screen those people, to determine whether or not these are people that you would want to put into one of your mobile homes. And every one of you on the call should have the mobile home interview script. And again, if you don't have that script, you go to GregoryDowning.com, pick on the big cat, and you can download those tools and those scripts. And guys, I want to kind of break this script down for you and talk to you about some different things that will happen as people call. The big question that I get is, the question I get is, where do I advertise? Where should we run this advertisement at? So you can run it in the for sale section, for sale by owner section in the newspaper. Sometimes they have a specific mobile home section. You can run this ad on the internet. You can run this ad on Craigslist. And Mom said, which is, Mom just had a wonderful point. Mom says she likes to run this ad in the for rent section, because if somebody's wanting to rent something, it's because they don't think they can own something, because maybe they don't have a down payment. Well, this says low down payment, and it says 0% interest, and it says good credit and poor credit okay. So the for rent section is a wonderful place to run this ad. Now, those of you that have the REI automated system and you understand how the marketing component of that program works, when I run this ad, guys, I run it everywhere. We have a marketing tool within the REI program that allows us to advertise our properties all over the World Wide Web. Now, I will tell you, this slide updates consistently, so every once in a while, maybe one of these sources might drop off and more of these sources are added. And being able to advertise your property at every one of these advertising resources, guys, just gives you coverage, especially when I'm here in Florida and I'm running internet ads in New York for mobile homes at 0% interest. There's a bunch of retired people in New York that maybe can't afford $1 million home on the water in Florida, or even a $100,000 home. They certainly could afford an $800 a month payment on a mobile home in a mobile home park and live here half the year and live there half the year. So if you don't have this marketing tool and you're interested in it, all you got to do is reach out to me, contact me, and we'll discuss with you exactly how the tool works and if it's something that even works for you. Let's go ahead and go through the mobile home assessment of needs and script. And of course, when they call, just thank you for contacting us about our mobile home and 0% interest program. This is one of the 5 free tools you have. Every one of you should have this assessment. It's one of the scripts that we sent to you, assessment of needs and script when talking to mobile home buyers that call from your mobile home ad. Now, again, if you don't have this script, just go to gregorydowning.com, click on the big cat, and you'll be able to download the tools. This is one of them. Now, one of the things you have to be careful of when people are calling on this ad is you got to be careful because it says mobile home buyers wanted. I'm not implying that I own a mobile home. So some people may demand that you have that you tell them what mobile homes that you have available. So if somebody's demanding to know what you have in inventory and what you have available, you've got to know how to handle that. You've got to know how to handle that. So let's talk about that. If caller is adamant wanting to know if you have mobile homes in inventory at this time, kindly state we have no mobile homes available at this time, but are in the process of replenishing our inventory. See if we can take down their information, and we'll give them a call as soon as one fits their needs, and let them know, would it be okay if I ask you some questions? The questions that we're going to ask is to make sure that we find a mobile home that will fit their needs. Now, if the mobile home buyer doesn't ask about inventory, just simply tell them that you would like to take their information and ask them some questions, and so that we can find a mobile home that fits their needs. So guys, let's just kind of together go through some of the questions that we want to ask. And we want to know, how many bedrooms are they interested in? This is common sense stuff, guys. And if somebody tells you they want a 3-bedroom, I'm going to ask them, well, if I find a nice 2-bedroom mobile home, would you like me to give you a call? See, if they tell you 3-bedroom and you don't ask them about the 2-bedroom, you may not know that. Somebody might settle for that 2-bedroom mobile home. And guys, I got to tell you, you're going to find it later in this call, a lot of people that make the call on this mobile home ad, they're either renting something, especially if you're running the ad in the for rent section, or we're finding today about 65% of the people that make the call on this ad are actually in pre-foreclosure. Guys, what an incredible opportunity. What an incredible opportunity to help people and make some money while we're at it. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, how many cars do you have where parking is needed? In mobile home parks, guys, parking sometimes is an issue. And again, you have to talk to the park owners, let the park owners know that you're an investor. And a lot of parks are owner-occupied only parks, and they won't let you buy mobile homes and rent mobile homes. And those are all things that are discussed in the mobile home video. Those are things that I can talk to you about one-on-one. And when you talk to the park owner, you're going to find some park owners that you really make a connection with, where you can create win-win situations. I mean, ideally, you would like that park owner to put you at the very top of their list. Chris, one of our students from Houston, who's been through our consulting program, been a student of ours for multiple years now, he's made a great relationship with a park owner in Florida. And when a mobile home becomes available and for sale in that park, Chris is getting first shot at those. Guys, that's what you want. Now, in the beginning, when you don't have the confidence, when you really don't know what you're doing or saying, talking to those park owners can sometimes be intimidating. So we can help you with that. Parking's important. How many vehicles do they have? What kind of parking will they need? How soon would you like to move? That's another important question for us to know the answer to. So, how hot of a prospect do I have? Now, I highly recommend that when you're doing this interview, when somebody calls and you're going and they're wanting to know about your mobile home, you immediately should have a form in front of you that you're filling out. And on that form, top right-hand corner, you want to put the prospect's name. You want to know where they're living at now. You want their phone number. What's the best time to call them, in the morning or in the evening? And then as you answer these questions, put them on your form. Because remember, these people are going to go into your database. You want as much information about them as you possibly can get. Now, how much are you paying monthly for housing? What a really, really important question to ask. And, let's find out what they're paying right now. And in a moment, we're going to find out why they're moving. Are you interested in our credit repair program? Guys, if somebody's in pre-foreclosure and I put them into a mobile home that 3 years from today, they might own free and clear. Maybe they've gotten a decent job, they've gotten their act together, and if they were in foreclosure, these people are going to have bad credit. Well, if I could help them repair their credit, knowing that their mobile home 3 years from today would be paid for, I can take that mobile home back as a down payment on a house. And again, when you treat people with respect and you create the win-win, guys, when these people get ready to change homes, everybody in your database that you have when they want to buy homes, sell homes, change homes, rent homes, we want them calling us first. We want them calling us first. So the more valuable you make yourself to them, the more you provide to them, the greater chance they're going to call you when they need something. Now, I will tell you, when you're talking to these people, you are not the owner of the business. And if anybody objects at any time to anything you're asking on this questionnaire, you just need to simply let them know, I represent a Florida real estate corporation or a Texas real estate corporation, and I'm required to fill out this form and get this information. Guys, we incorporate our business. We do not buy properties in our personal name. We do them within our corporate capacity, because what that gives me is 100% separation between me and my corporation. When I write these agreements and I'm speaking to somebody, I'm speaking to them as a representative of the corporation. Therefore, I get to blame everything that goes wrong on the corporation. I take credit for everything that goes right. Do you presently rent or own? Now, if the caller owns, I'm going to point blank ask them, why are you moving? You will be surprised at how forthright so many people are. Guys, our ad says low down payment. It says good credit and poor credit okay. It says 0% interest, all the hooks that you could ever imagine. You can run it in the for rent section, run it all over the World Wide Web. People that are in pre-foreclosure are going to see this ad and they're going to call you. A lot of people that are in foreclosure, when they lose their homes, guys, a lot of times they're sleeping with their mom. They're in their mom's house. They had to move back in with their brother or their sister. Families are consolidating today because of the economic crisis that our country is going through. Sometimes, I've had students in my 3-day events that had just went through foreclosure that were sleeping in their car. So these people are very forthright. Now, if somebody tells you, well, to tell you the truth, I'm in foreclosure and I saw your ad at 0% interest and it says low down payment, good credit, poor credit, okay, that's me. What an incredible opportunity to now get out the information gathering process script about people that are in foreclosure, which, by the way, will follow on future webinars. And now I'm going to take every bit of information from them about the property that they've got that's in pre-foreclosure. I'm going to have them sign authorization to release information. So not only can I put these people into a mobile home, I now can go get all the information about the property that they have in foreclosure and help them with that situation as well, create a win-win. And the beautiful thing is we get to make some money while we're at it. So, yes.
Credit's okay, but we want to know that the situation is solved and that they can afford to pay when they move in.
Yeah, so Mom brings up a great point. Poor credit's okay. And, I get a lot of people that ask me, am I doing credit checks on people that I put in mobile homes? Am I doing background checks on people that I put in mobile homes? And the answer to that, for the most part, is no. There's a couple of reasons why. I want to, number one, make sure that they have the ability to make their monthly payments. If they were in foreclosure, let's find out the story. Let's find out what happened. Is that situation better? Was the payment maybe $3,000 a month and I'm moving them down to a $750 payment that they can afford? So the deal's got to make sense. Now, if you guys want them, if you want to check their credit, you just have them go to creditnav.com and they can pull all three of the reports for $1. If they go in 7 days later, they can cancel that. They've got the reports. They can bring their reports to you if you feel like you need to look at their reports. And the reason why I don't get involved in a whole lot of that, if they've got the ability to make the payment and they've got a down payment, which we'll talk about in a moment, they're going to have to qualify for the lot rent. So if I'm going to sell the mobile home to them with seller financing at 0% interest, which is what we will do. If you watch the video, that's exactly what we do. They've got to qualify for the lot rent. So once they're good with the deal with the mobile home, once they're good with the paperwork, I have them sign all the paperwork pending qualification for lot rent. I take them down to the park owner. They have to sign a contract for the lot rent. Guess what the park owner is going to do? Park owner is going to check their credit. Park owner is going to do a background check on them. Now, depending on the type of park will determine how stringent, how strong the requirements for being in the park, what it's going to take to qualify for the park. And guys, there's mobile home parks out there that are war zones. They're just rough parks. And I stay out of those parks. That's not something I want to be involved in. I will tell you my most favorite mobile home park is a retirement community park. And if I've got a retirement couple that's lost their home in foreclosure because times are really, really tough, and I get them to a payment that they know that they can afford, guys and gals, I'm going to tell you, those are going to be some of your very, very best tenants. They'll be your very, very loyal tenants, very loyal tenants. So I want to know where they're employed at. I want to know how much money they make. I want to know, are they married or single? Because if they're married, there's two people involved in this decision. The last thing I want to do is spend a week working with somebody and then find out I'm not talking to the right person. So are they married or single? Now, if they're single, I'm going to ask them, is there anyone else that needs to be involved in the decision? Because even if they're single, there could be an other half to the party that needs to be involved. How much can you afford monthly? You know, I may only need $700 a month for my mobile home, or $350 a month cash flow for my mobile home, plus they have to pay the lot rent. If the lot rent's $400, that's $750. Well, what if they tell me they can afford $850? Does that mean I'm going to increase my profit or cash flow by $100 a month? No, that would be greedy. When we put people into mobile homes, we just need to make sure that we put them into what they can afford. How much can you afford to put down? Our ad says low down payment. How much can you afford to put down? I'd even say to the person on the phone, well, if they didn't ask me, because a lot of times they're going to ask, well, what's the down payment? When somebody asks me how much the down payment is, I ask them, well, how much can you afford to put down? Because what low down payment to one person is may not be low down payment to another person. And in the example that you guys watched on the mobile home video link that I gave you, we needed $1,000 down. Well, if I ask this person, how much can you afford to put down? And they tell me that they have $2,000, that's when you can say, well, I'm in a really good mood today. I only need $1,000 down. You guys can keep the other $1,000. Guys, that's not happening. I'm going to take that extra $1,000 down. They got $2,000 to put down. I'll take it. Now, excuse me. That doesn't mean I'm going to increase my profit by an additional $1,000, because that also would be greedy. And one of the things that I teach to my consulting students, I teach in my 3-day class, is that we create reserve accounts in case things are going to go wrong. So if somebody had $2,000 to put down and I only needed $1,000 down, I would take that extra $1,000 and I would put it into a reserve account. Guys, I reserve for vacancy in case somebody moves out. I reserve for maintenance. I reserve for legal. I reserve for property management fees. I reserve for taxes. I put as much money into reserve as I can. The beautiful thing about reserve accounts is that the money that's sitting in reserve, it's not taxable. Now, that could be a whole nother webinar or seminar on asset protection. What if I needed $1,000 down and someone only has $500 down? You get to make the choice, and I would tell the person that this particular mobile home that we have is going to require a $1,000 down payment. I'd love to put you in my database, keep in touch with you. If you can come up with $1,000, let me know. Bottom line is you guys get to choose. Now, thank them for the time and let them know that we will be in touch as soon as we have a mobile home that fits their needs. And guys and gals, I want to let you know, sometimes when I take some of these calls, and I'm not being rude, and some of the types of people that we deal with can be a bit difficult. And guys, I don't need more aggravation in my life. And if somebody doesn't want my help, then I'm not going to help them. And I want you to remember, guys, it's your sandbox, it's your rules. If you guys want to play in my sandbox, you got to play by my rules. Now, if you don't like my rules, that's perfectly fine. You can go play in somebody else's sandbox. All I'm sharing with you is we're not going to get emotionally involved. We're not the owner of the corporation or the company. We're the property manager. We represent the corporation. That way I don't have to get emotionally attached. And if somebody's being difficult, I'm going to cut them loose. I have no problem saying next. Now, I hope that, guys, has given you some great insight on how to run your ad, how to handle those calls when they come in. Guys, you must execute 3 mobile homes a month. Now, you may not be ready to do that on Monday, and if you follow the specific plan we have in place for mobile homes, within the next 90 days, you ought to be doing 3 mobile homes a month. We can get those mobile homes under contract with seller financing. We can turn around and sell them with seller financing. You should be cash flowing about $300 per mobile home. So if you did 1 mobile home, you had the databases in place, the foundational layers. If you could do 1, you could do another one. Guys, if you did 10 mobile homes, that's $3,000 a month. If you did 100 mobile homes, that is $30,000 a month. So we're getting close to our time here. I like to stay right on time, and I'm going to go through a couple of more slides, and then I'm going to have Mom read me some of your guys' questions, and I'll repeat the question, and we'll go ahead and answer those questions.
If they want more on mobile home, like the numbers, the pricing, go to Facebook, like you.
Yeah. So guys, when you go to Facebook, if you'll like me and you'll follow me at Facebook anytime that I put ads up, or I put videos up there or strategies up there, you guys will get to see that. If you go to GregoryDowning.com and join the Entrepreneur Zone, you'll have access to just tons and tons and tons of resources. And in a moment, I'm going to give you guys, it's right here, GregoryDowning.com. You can send me any questions that you want to send me. I just want to briefly talk to you a little bit more about my potential to results consulting program. It's a 90-day program. The driving force of this program is to explore your potential. Let's get you guys very, very focused on what your potential is. Take action, jumpstart you, move you, get your deals done. We work with you one-on-one in your market area. So we're going to assess where you're at and determine exactly what your goals are, short-term and long-term, and we're going to put the plan together. We guarantee that we'll walk you through at least 1 deal. We want to walk you through multiple deals. We do have a 90% success rate with this program. If you guys are interested in investment capital up to 100K at 0% interest, as soon as this webinar is over, you're going to receive an email. In that email, there will be a form for you to fill out if you would like a 30-minute consulting call with me. Now, the email talks about our potentials to result consulting program. I want you to know the 30-minute consultation call is about anything. I'm happy to spend 30 minutes with you guys and talk to you about anything. Ultimately, I know what you need to be successful is you need to be in my 90-day program. That's a personal choice of yours. If you fill out that questionnaire, guys, I'll call and set up a consultation with you. Once you filled out the questionnaire, the directions for you to apply for up to 100% in investment capital at 0% interest will be there. And the directions are right here for you one more time. You must use Google Chrome. Do not search. Use the URL address bar. You're going to type in creditnav.com. When you go to creditnav.com, you can pull all 3 of your credit reports with scores. It's going to be $1. You have to put in a debit card or a credit card. Now, if you go in in 7 days and cancel, there will be no additional charges to your card. You want to download those 3 reports to your desktop. You would then email those reports to a very secure email address, specifically designed, opm@gregorydowning.com. And when you've sent those reports to us, you will be contacted by my fiance, Alicia, who's in charge of helping students raise capital. We do have multiple other resources if you don't qualify for the 0% interest. I will tell you the information is 100% confidential and will be destroyed when we are done. If you give us permission, we'll even do an assessment of your credit file. I know I've got one student's files that I need to look at tonight. He's got a range in his credit scores of over 100 points. So we're going to dig into those files and see what's going on. I have a credit repair company. We can help you with credit repair. I did have several people send their information. We did get approximately $1 million at 0% interest over the last week. I did have several people that didn't qualify that I have reached out to discuss credit repair options, and some of you haven't responded. So, you know, it's amazing to me that, you know, people want help and they've got issues out there and we're willing to give them help, and sometimes they just don't follow through. Okay, hold on. Mom wants to talk to you guys for 1 minute.
So Greg's the razzle dazzle, and Mom, that's me. I'm the detail. So when you get off the call tonight, I just want to recap for you and consolidate. When you get off the webinar tonight, you'll have an email. You click on the link in that email, and it'll have you just fill out a little form about what you want to accomplish, etc. And then Greg will have the 30-minute call with you. As soon as you submit that form so that Greg can do the 30-minute call, these directions that are up here right now will appear again, and you will also get an email with these directions in it so that you can then get also prepared for the investment capital. I'm going to turn it back to Greg now so he can get your questions answered.
All right, Mom, fire away.
First question.
You have
Brian
to
wants to know, how does he qualify for the credit funding? And so you've kind of talked about that.
Yeah, so Brian, it's very simple. Just follow the directions you see right there on the screen, and when you send us those reports, we'll know instantly, and we'll reach out to you tomorrow if you send them to us tonight, and we'll know instantly what you qualify for. Even if you don't qualify for the 0%, we have multiple other funding options that are available, and if you don't qualify, there's reasons why. We'll work with you on what it is that you need to do to get the capital together so you can do the deals you want to do. What do you got next, Mom?
Sean wants to know how much the software is and how does she get the software.
All right, Joan, so the software depends on which software you're looking for. I have 2 different types of software, and Joan, I would just recommend that if you'll send me a message, greg@gregorydowning.com, you're interested in software. To answer your question, for both sets of software, it's $3,000. They both do completely different things. So if you're one of my students, you may or may not have access to the software. So I'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with you. The RESS software, our Real Estate Success System software, finds properties in pre-foreclosure the day they're filed with the county courthouse. It gives those listings, every bit of information about that property. It trends market areas, has contracts and addendums in it, and 1,000 other things that it does. The automation system that we have directly connects you with 29,000 other master investors throughout the United States of America. You can network in every major city throughout the country from your living room. We give you 3 websites. It has the marketing tool that I showed you. It is the hottest thing on the planet for real estate investors. I will tell you, the people that are in my 90-day consulting program, a big part of that program is make sure that you're using those tools, those softwares, to the best of their ability. So if you want an immediate one-on-one conversation with me about that, go to greg@gregorydowning.com and just leave me a message.
It's part of the 30-minute consulting. So
what's next, Mom?
The last 2, several people ask, how do I get around parks that want owner-accepted no investors?
Okay, so guys, sometimes you can't get around it. And if you approach it, so the question was, let me be really clear, what about the owner-occupied only parks? What that means is that the park owner is not going to let you buy the mobile home and rent the mobile home. Well, if you'll watch the video, yes, I did show you a strategy to where we could rent the mobile home if we chose to. And a much cleaner, easier strategy is, why don't we just sell these mobile homes to them with seller financing? And the way that you approach the park owner is, look, I'm the bank. I have a program available where I help people who can't afford to own mobile homes own them because I'm the bank. I handle the financing for them. It's no different if somebody goes to a mobile home dealer. and they buy a mobile home and they have that mobile home moved into the park. And the mobile home dealer secures financing for them at a mobile home finance company, which Green Tree used to be one. I don't even know if they exist anymore. And they finance mobile homes. So the title to the mobile home would actually be in the homeowner's name, and Green Tree is listed as the lien holder. If you can get the park owner to understand that you're the bank. So one of the things that we'll cover in later webinars about mobile homes, a mobile home and a mobile home park where you do not own the land is going to have a title. If it's a single wide mobile home, it'll have one title. If it's a double wide mobile home, it's going to have two titles, one for both halves. So let's say that my mom, Tony Ray, owns a mobile home and a mobile home park, and I buy that mobile home from her with seller financing. I'm going to have her give me the title. Now I have a promissory note to where I have to pay mom back. Mom gives me the title to that mobile home. Now, when I sell that mobile home to the motivated buyer in my database, title actually gets transferred into that person's name, and I show up on the title as a lien holder. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I get this every weekend, and then people say, well, then why doesn't Tony Ray put liens against the title? Because Tony Ray knew nothing about putting a lien against a mobile home title, and neither did you guys till I taught you, so don't go there. Remember, the people in these mobile home parks don't have the financial education that you guys have or are receiving. That is a wonderful question. It is difficult to overcome. I will tell you that students that are in my consulting program, either myself, mom, one of our team members, we actually call the park owners for you. We can handle it. We know what to say. We know what to do to convince them. And it's just all about their confidence in us and their trust in who we are. Everything in this business is about relationship, and the bottom line is some parks they just won't let us, and if they don't let us, we move on to the ones that will.
Okay, Biff wants to know, can you send us a copy of the flow chart? I will post it at Facebook. So like us at Legacy Unleashed and like us at Gregory Downing, and I'll post both tonight's recording of the session at Facebook, through the blog to Facebook, and I'll post the flow chart at Facebook.
So if, I'm sure you guys got that, and Mom's going to post the flow chart at Facebook, and she will put a recording of this webinar at Facebook. Now, Mom, will you do that through the blog where they can actually?
Yes.
All right. So if I blog something from our blog at our website, and that posts to Facebook, it also goes to LinkedIn, it also goes to Twitter, it also goes to YouTube. So there'll be multiple places you can access it. Watch the website, watch Facebook, and You'll get that flow chart. I knew that you guys would like that flow chart because it just gives you a great idea of the flow or the transition of the deal.
Look in your mailboxes.
All right, guys, look in your email box. You're going to have an invitation to download a form. It's live form online. You answer the questions. It'll come straight to me. It's so that we can set up your 30-minute consultation. Once you've done that, the directions for the investment capital will pop up for you guys. This is completely it's completely optional. It's your choice. We found this for you. I've went through the process, and I was having a conversation with a student today, and everybody's got different philosophies. To get 100 grand at 0% interest, that's not going to be for free. There's going to be a $3,500 fee for that. Now, I'm happy to pay the $3,500 fee to get 100 grand at 0% interest, because I'll turn the 100 grand into 500 grand. And the student said, well, if I've got money, why would I take the 100 grand? Well, I've got money too. Anytime I can use somebody else's money, that's what I'm going to do. And everybody has their own philosophies. And so this is optional. It's purely optional for you guys. And guys, knowing what I know about the business today, I want every resource at my fingertips so that we can go out and capitalize on the deals that are out there. I thank every one of you for being on the webinar. I want you to invite your friends to next week's webinar. Listen, it's going to be my mom, Tony Ray, going over elements of a contract. And once we went over the elements of the contract, the next webinar will be right into the acquisition of these mobile homes so we can carry you guys through the finish line. God bless every one of you. GregoryDowning.com. Greg at GregoryDowning.com is my email address. If you guys need me for anything, don't hesitate to reach out. God bless you and have a great night.